Hey guys, Elliott Bayev here at Youngman Mixed Martial Arts. Happy to have our friend Youngman, Coach Youngman from Double Phoenix Jiu-Jitsu in Virginia. He's going to be sharing some details on side control escaping for those who are a little newer to the game.
Thanks, Elliott. All right, so let's get started. So first off, the first thing I see so much, like when I was starting, it was really difficult for me when everyone taught me to put my forearm on the hip. So I would have a lot of problems trying to push away the hip, and especially if the guy straightens out his leg, he just drops all that pressure on my arm, and then my arm gets smashed, and then they drop their knee on top of my forearm. So you like pin my wrist with the knee, yeah, like this, and now my arm's totally out of play. It's isolated away from my body, and then I can't get any separation. Like he's chest to chest on me, and I have no gap in between our chests, which is really important to escape. So every time he's pinching his elbow on my hip, I can't get my hip out to even recover at all. Plus my arm's trapped, and my arm's vulnerable for attack here. So this to me is like not a good way to keep your arms safe, and not a good way to escape effectively. So the first thing I want to do is talk about two types of bridges. So there's a long bridge, which is really commonly taught. It's like bridging really long and then trying to shrink afterwards and recover. It still works, but it didn't really work a lot for me on experienced jiu-jitsu guys. So if my arm is, first of all, let's say my arm is trapped, I want to use the long bridge to get my elbow in. Okay, and once my elbow's in, I want to sneak my hand around here. But if his shoulder's tight, I have to use what I call a pop bridge. So I go pop and push a little bit with my hand, like on his shoulder / neck. Like pop, sneak my hand in, just like this. And now that my hand's here, I can connect what I call a 3-finger grip. Some people see this a lot. What you do is you take your hand like this, 3 fingers, open up your index finger. You put your thumb and grab your 3 fingers just like this. And this creates like a solid frame. And what I want is to decrease the connection between his chest and my chest. So I want him on my forearms instead of, chest to chest with my arms out. This is really tough. So I'm here, watch, I'm gonna use a pop, get my elbows like underneath me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop here and shrimp and frame. So creating a disconnect between our chests. So he's trying to put pressure, and this gives me the ability to shrimp and put my knee inside. And look, now I go from a framing connection to a double arm extension. And now my leg, if you've got the flexibility, can loop, block, keep your knee out, and square up, and then just recover, and then look to get grips. If you're not so flexible, with your hip flexibility, let's say your arms over on top, you can shrimp out, and then look, take this foot and put it in as a butterfly hook, and then sit up, like this. So that bridge, that popcorn, I call it popcorn shrimp with the kids, that bridge is like this. Like if I it's a pop, and before my hips hit the ground, my hips are kicking out. So and then look, I close off this entire side so that there's no side control here. I've essentially closed off that gap. So pop, trim, and then pop, trim, and then loop, like that. If you've got the hip flexibility for it, I think it's a really effective way to get out. So if I had my choice, I wouldn't even start with my hand here. I would start here. So get tight. Ready? I would start here. Look, don't let them wrap your head up. So watch, pop, boom, get my knee in, loop. You see? And I've done this in high-level competition where the guy's holding me as tight as he can, and because I used that pop bridge, I was able to get some separation, get my knee inside and loop. So, and I think the reason why that works is because when you pop, like let's just say you put your arms behind your back. Look, if I do a long bridge, I don't necessarily get any disconnect. When I pop, there's a gap. So in that gap, I want to shrimp and get my knee inside. And then loop, bam, bam. And just get your grips. So that's my take on it. Did you have a way that you like to escape side control?
Yeah, so very similar idea. I think one big thing that Kyle's talking about is not letting people control the head. So as he passes, just the same way he was, I want to create this gooseneck here. So I bend my wrist like this, and it's not my hand that's going to meet his bicep, because if it does, he can power through that. And if you've got any elbow inflammation, your wrist coming to your shoulder is going to really hurt. When you come forearm, bent wrist, to his bicep. Now, come through.
I can't.
Yeah, it's too powerful. So when we teach the kids, we talk about, this is the gooseneck and this is the knife hand. My first priority is here. I don't let him grab my head. Then this hand, I like to bring inside here. The reason is now, even if I lose this arm for whatever reason, when he tries to grab a crossface, my upper arm acts as a frame keeping him away so he can't get close to me. Now this opens up a lot of opportunities. Advanced people will know kind of the elbow push and lots of other options from here, but this just, again, prevents him from getting close enough to really secure much. And now, whether you use popcorn shrimp or regular shrimp, here you can get out. But
Regular shrimp still works.
Yeah, especially if you've prevented the head control. But one opportunity I really like here that will be more valuable for the more experienced people is that when you get out, this is often the case that the person leaves their arm behind. So as soon as your knee comes in, if this elbow here slides back to my ribs here, and I open my hips and bring my leg across, here we can actually catch a flash armbar. So one more time.
I like that flash armbar.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So we catch this, knife hand in the armpit. Now, boom, we get that knee in. The moment I do, the big key here is the 3 movements happening at once. My knee pushes into him to open up my hips. My arm comes back and I want to trap, specifically I want to trap his palm, the plate of his hand against my ribs so he can't rotate. And at the same time, this leg is going straight over this way. You'll notice his arm is already straight by virtue, even just at this moment, it's almost straight. So when I come here, it comes on very quickly. Very kind of powerful addition to your side escape, happens a lot, that it's open, that it's available. And yeah, just, that was a big thing for me, learning to not allow the person to control your head, learning to get that frame in the armpit, and then different styles of shrimping to be more efficient, getting your guard back. And then, bonus submissions like that. I think it's called a monoplata that you can catch as you're escaping. Very, very valuable.
I like how you're escaping right into something offensive versus just escaping, going to a neutral spot where you both look at each other and there's like a pause. You're going like right to something offensive.
Yeah, very often people will escape and then see what happens. I think that for those that want to be more competitive, you can't kind of just escape and then suss things out. You have to create that situation. So thanks very much.
Thanks,
awesome to have you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you.